So we are shippable. We help you ship quality code faster. It's probably a geeky presentation. I hope you guys are drunk enough. So let's deal with this. So what are we? So we are the fastest continuous delivery platform that's out there. A lot of this help comes from Docker. You'll probably hear a lot from Brendan from Google about this. So we are one of the first adopters of Docker. So what we have is a fast way to get companies code that they're developing out into production or consumers who are actually using it. So the inspiration for this was basically Connect. So I was with Connect 2011, one of the first one of the four people at product unit managers at Connect. So the problem I was having is we shipped Connect, it was a great product. What I saw was more than 50% of the engineering time of my team, about 150 people, were spending doing this. So they were rebuilding environments or reworking code. And we were doing agile, everything was undefined, so things were kind of like fluid, and so you had to do a lot of rework. So this kind of got me thinking whether it was just an anomaly that we were facing, that we just didn't know how to actually run this, or maybe it was my fault. It was just bad management, and I just didn't know what the problem was. So I started actually doing some research, especially because I was doing my annual review and I wanted to figure out what to say to my manager. So I figured out that it was actually neither. And this was the irony that I actually saw, which was NIST estimates over $60 billion every year is spent reworking code that was just written. And this is just ridiculous. You saw like the whole debacle of the healthcare.gov and all that stuff, and all of that was just all rework code because developers are very social creatures. I mean, they actually hang out, they collaborate and all that stuff. No, actually, no, they actually work in isolation, and that's what the problem is. So the problem is, what do you actually do with this? I mean, it's kind of like very weird, right? I mean, my incentive is to do this, which is just drive productivity. I mean, that's all I was paid for, and that's all I did. I tried to motivate people, and it was all about productivity. So what do the folks in my team did? They did this, which is, hey, I spent 50% of my time trying to do rework code, but I still need to get this feature because my boss told me I got to get 70, 80% utilization. So they spent a lot of time doing this. What happened is a lot of this happened. And what happened with Connect after party when we launched and all that stuff was every single person of my team, their spouse came and talked to me, saying that if you ever do this again, I think we'll make sure that you're fired from Microsoft. So that's basically what happened. So because what they really thought was programmers were doing this. And actually this used to be true a long time ago when we were all on Borderland C and all that stuff. And where you could just hit Control E or something like that, and then it compiled for the next 2 hours, and it came back with a result. But it's not true anymore. The real problem was actually this. What ends up happening is people say it works on my machine, and then they go push stuff in, and then they spend a lot of time trying to make a whole bunch of things that worked on a whole bunch of my machines to actually work on our machine and eventually work in production. And that's exactly what's happening. So to kind of, maybe, since we're all drunk on Ninkasi beer, so this kind of probably helps. It's kind of like playing Tetris. As I said, we are social people, so we try to work on things collaboratively and keep pushing things into some bucket. And there are holes that are happening which nobody cares about because we are drunk or maybe eating Cheetos or whatever it is. So it happens, this is what happens. So what you really need to do is, how do we solve this problem? So what ends up happening to solve this problem is you end up deploying, redeploying, and all of that stuff, and the whole DevOps and all these things came into being because it was all just inefficient. So with Shippable, what can we do? And that's the inspiration behind what we did. So you can build machines up in less than 30 seconds. So that includes every single version of Ruby, every single version of Node.js that existed for 5 years, and every single version of Python if you really want to actually do it, and every single version of every service that you can actually think about. So it's just a matter of seconds, a few clicks, you can actually get an Ubuntu machine running. So try that with any cloud provider if you actually want. And this is real time, by the way. It's provisioning and it's done. So now you got every single service running every single programming language, open source, sorry Microsoft, but that's what's actually happening, okay? So then you actually can go and create your repositories into GitHub with just one single click. So basically with a few lines of code, you can actually drive this and you can get real-time continuous integration. So the result of this is you get something like this. And this is an actual graph from StockTwits, and you get hopefully a lot of this. And so the one question I have for a lot of folks here is, did you actually ship today? And honestly, all these guys have actually been doing it so far. And so we have over 300 plus companies trying it. And if that was really good to be true, Shippable is actually free. And even for private repositories. We don't charge you for anything out there. So we charge for parallelization if you have to have it as part of a team, but as an individual user, you can do it for free. So that's pretty much my presentation. Thank you very much.
So we have time for a couple of questions. I'm not psychic, but I'm going to say the first question you're going to get, I could be wrong, we'll see, is what's your monetization model?
So I kind of mentioned that. The question was, what's my monetization model? It is parallelization. So if you're an individual developer doing weekend coding and stuff like that, it's absolutely free. The moment you say, I have a team of 5 people and we all need to write things in parallel, that's where we charge you. So you can pretty much do it for free if you're just one single person.
By the way, I don't want to eat into your questions, but we did set a rule early on if you do go over. So if you do have questions, he's going to stick around afterwards, and you can all come up to stage and grill him, ask him for a job opportunity, because I know he's probably hiring. Raise your hand. You know you are. That's right. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear again for Shippable.
Thank you very much.